not one thing that makes this work, it's a whole range of things that builds the culture that you need to actually keep the momentum going. We do have a huge Q&A policy around this, an implementation plan that we're putting in place, and we get other people from outside the organisation to come in and assess us against it. Because the TEC were actually investing in us and taking a risk as an employer actually working with literacy and numeracy, we felt we needed to be that much more above the game. We always looked at the money as having an end date. So when it ends, how are we going to sustainably carry this on? And that's the whole thing around this, is that if the money's taken away, Downer will still be involved in this environment, in this learning. What we're trying to do is actually build it into everyday life so that it becomes business as usual, and we're not actually delivering a program, but we're thinking about the literacy and numeracy challenges in day-to-day life as we work. It's a cultural shift first and foremost, in that you can deliver a program, but once you've finished that program, how do you keep it going? How do you reinforce that in the actual environment? In order for it to be sustainable, we believe that 70% of our learning should actually happen in the workplace on the tools so that it can be reinforced on a day-to-day basis. 20% is through the mentors that we put into there and invest in to be reinforcing and lifting it, and 10% should be in the actual training off the job in a classroom type environment. Right, which ones of these have you decided are serious accidents? It's about actually acknowledging people's literacy and numeracy challenges when they enter the workforce. We have to be very careful there around the fact that it's not about selecting people out of a job, but knowing what challenges they're going to face so that they can actually do the job well. We often look at a level 3 person as being somebody who's productive in the workforce. If we know beforehand that actually they've got challenges in their writing and that perhaps they're around that level 2, then we can actually invest in them and actually grow them into that level 3 person they need to be. Because we're dealing with people who have come from a workplace environment, not from a literacy environment, we're talking about real life situations. The challenge for us is to actually introduce them into the literacy and numeracy way of thinking. So we put in place systems and procedures that can actually support them in that environment. Our green pages, which is sort of how-to sheets, really aid that sort of process as well. The biggest thing is that we've invested in is a network of learning champions who can actually enforce this. We don't see facilitation of literacy and numeracy as a standalone model. We see it as embedded in all the different sorts of learning that we're doing with our guys. Being able to actually have your managers on board is the biggest hurdle. If they understand what's going on, if they have an appreciation to the way that they work with their guys, the whole program flows that much more smoothly, and we actually get the big returns as a result. So educating them is part of the whole sustainability.